Chapter 4 Almanac and Almighty. We all celebrate Ugadi every year. With every passing year, we have grown in age without maturing. A thief getting more thoughts about theft with every passing year is not maturity. This is what is happening to everyone. Everywhere there is theft, jealousy, terrorism, and no belief in others, no trust in others. Everyone smiles in the face, but there is no smile in the heart. Even in the temple, when one does namaskar, he is doing it with duality. We think something in the mind and pose to the God as if we are doing namaskar to him. There is no devotion. Our mind should always dwell in God so that we are doing it in bhakti or devotion. Otherwise, we are doing part-time business with God. People ask, how can we do business if we keep on thinking about God? When mind thinks about different things which are totally unrelated to our activities, we don't question. If our mind can think about different unconnected things, it can also be offered to God. We can also think about God in the midst of other activities. When we are thinking all unconnected things, we get depression, tension, and hypertension. Instead, if we think about holy things, sacred things, or things about God, we can relax. Adishesha holds this earth. This earth is patiently holding us. Hence, it becomes our duty to do something to the Father of this earth, the Creator, the God. Everyone is telling that the world is bad. Everywhere there is corruption, violence, and there are no values. If we think, we will come to know that we are responsible for corrupting the society. Each one of us should try to think differently and try to transform ourselves. That is the greatest help one can do to God or nature. By paying something, one cannot get him. One person was praying to God for money. He wanted it badly. God appeared before him and asked him, "My child, what do you want?" This man asked, "God, what does millions of years of man's life mean to you?" God replied, "It is just a second for me." Then, very intelligently, he asked, "Suppose if I need 100 million rupees, what does it amount to you?" God said, "It is a single paisa for me." Then, the oversmart man asked God to give him 1 paisa. On hearing this, God asked him to wait for a second. So, one should not try to judge God by money. God is more intelligent than us. As long as we are bound by time, we are just a worm in the eyes of God. We have to try and transform ourselves. On Ugadi day, everywhere we see Panchanga Shravanam. Everyone eats bevu, neem, that is bitter, and bella or jaggery, that is sweet. Meaning that we have to treat both bitter and sweet experiences in life equally. When bitter things arise, we do not want to face it. We want to avoid bitter things. Even if we get sweet, many want to avoid it because they have diabetes. So what is needed is peace of mind, not money or bungalows. Panchanga or Almanac gives this. Panchanga contains 5 parts. The first part is the Tithi, which means different splendors of moon with regard to each day. If one follows Tithi, the first Anga, it gives you Aishwarya. The real meaning of Aishwarya is Ishwaryatha, the qualities of divinity. The second part is the day, Varat Ayushya Vardhanam, meaning by following Vara or day, longevity of life is achieved. The third part is Nakshatras or stars. Nakshatrat Papanashanam, which means that by following this, the sins committed are destroyed. Fourth part is the Yoga, which means a part of the day wherein parts of the day are supposed to bring nectarine results, perfect results, etc. Yogat Roga Nivaranam. By following yoga, diseases can be cured. The last part is the Karana. Karana means that which does, meaning instrument. Karanat Karya Siddhimcha, which means that through the instruments given by God, one will achieve perfection in all the activities. Good deeds or karmas done gets back good karmas. We should give everything to God without holding good or bad karmas. Karanam Karanam Karta. This means that to affect an activity, three things are needed. The first thing is Karanam, the instrument through which activity is done. Next is the Karanam, the cause that affects in an activity. And the third, Karta, doer of the activity. We are given the mind, hence we think that we are acting. We think that we are doing the work, but God has given the key of prana. Without this key, we cannot do anything. One has to remember that God is only treating us as a toy. So once we know this, life becomes very simple and relaxing. We need not execute the plans that we have. God will execute it. Even if it is a mundane matter like getting a toothbrush when it is needed, God will get it. If we have total faith in God, from morning to evening, He will do service to us. It is He who is doing all our activities, but with our ego and ignorance, we think that we are doing it. When we get headache, we say, I have headache. When we do good things, we say, I do good things. When we donate, we say, I donate. This functioning I is the God. We can only think of walking or sleeping or eating or any work. All these activities are done by the power of God. It is this power that makes us to walk, sleep, or eat. We think that we are sinners. Hence, we feel that God will punish us and we cannot pray. However, in the eyes of God, gutter and Ganges are the same. There is no sinner in this world. Everyone is Atman and everyone is God. There is no difference. Sun shines both on gutter and Ganges. So there is no sinner. Let us not be scared. Everything is God's will. He is making us to act and we are acting. So whatever one thinks, whether it is good or bad, it is just God's will and not ours. If we analyze our life, it is a mixture of just three things. Than, Man, Dhan. Physique, mind, and money. Everyone thinks comprehensively only about these three. All the time in this world we are thinking about money and about others. Everything right from the concept of God to business is within these three only. If these three are transcended or if we offer these three to God, then God will enter us. This spirit is everyone's asset. God resides in every one of us. He is nearer to your thinking than your ego. If we realize this, then there is no God, we become the Spirit of God. If we live like this, then there is no reason for worrying. All our activities will take place as it is, but we will be free. This is the age of Vikramanama Samvatsara. Veera, Dheera, Parakrama, symbolizing boldness and bravery. Lot of Rajasic activities will take place in the universe this year. The problems of mudslides, ocean upheavals will happen. The mind will also be Rajasic this year. But we have to relax. If our body cannot take everything, we have to sacrifice our body energy for others by doing service and caring for the needy. Our mind is corrupt. When we spend money on a beggar to relieve his hunger, we think whether he has spent the money properly or not. One night, a particular businessman came to me and said that he wants to donate 100 woolen blankets to the people sleeping on the road. We went around the roads and offered the woolen blankets to 100 people who were sleeping on the road. After few days, he came and said that none of the people to whom he donated had the blankets with them. He thought that either they had sold it off or had spent it on booze. he is still carrying the thought of 100 blankets. Once you have given, how they use is their problem. Everyone doubts everyone they meet. Only one has to relax to know that everywhere God only functions. Even if someone comes to cheat, they will get changed if one has faith. If we are straightforward, then even those who want to cheat you cannot cheat. The high spirit of God is functioning through everybody, irrespective of the work one does. If one does not have belief in God, think that the nature is functioning. If we think about our life, we may live for 60, 70 years or much more. Then, if one starts questioning within him like whether this life is a continuation of previous lives, if so, where does one come from and where is one going? When a person dies, then they say he has left. Then the question arises as to whether the person is the body or the soul. Mind plays a very important role in binding the soul to the body. So one should think as to from where this ego is working. Then we should think of getting relieved. This kind of self-inquiry and thinking leads one to merge with God. When we are one with the Spirit of God, we cannot go anywhere, we are always there. Our life cycle comes to an end. One who has realized this truth need not come back. To merge with the Supreme Spirit of God, mind should melt. Be it through music, meditation or japa, or through vichara, meaning thinking. The desire for the highest truth should be much more than craving for sensual or any materialistic things. Let there be a continuous thought in us that we have to merge with the Supreme Spirit. Only this desire will take us to the Supreme God. Peace or happiness that dawn after japa or puja or meditation is short-lived. We know very well that the next moment after the holy practices we change, exhibiting animal-like behavior. We exhibit everything except humanism. So, only a mental transformation is needed and not physical activity. Only this transformation can bring about lasting peace.